Hello, I'm Adam Kielich, the principal attorney at the Kielich Law Firm in Bedford, Texas, where I help clients with their employment law, consumer law, and family law needs. Today's video is going to discuss 5 things to consider about contributing to your 401k. It's important to note that the 5 issues that we'll talk about today are not the only issues to consider with regard to your 401k or contributing to your 401k, nor should you treat this information as financial advice. I don't know what your particular financial situation is or whether contributing to your 401k individually makes sense for you, but these are merely 5 general concepts to think about to help you decide whether contributing to your 401k is a good idea for you personally, or whether there's a different saving option or other decision you want to make with regard to that portion of your wages. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get into the first issue, which is obtaining company match. For many 401k plans, the employer will entice the employees to contribute by giving them some sort of match on the employee's deferral, whatever you're contributing. Some companies will do a dollar-for-dollar match. Some companies do a percentage of whatever you contribute. Other employers will do a flat amount. But for most 401k plans, it does require the employee to make a contribution in order to get the company match from the employer. Now, of course, some companies do not offer any kind of match, or the amount of match that's offered is relatively low. So the amount of match can certainly play into a consideration whether it's valuable for you to contribute to the plan in order to capture that company match. Companies are often fond of saying that not taking advantage of the company match is leaving money on the table. And in a sense, that's really true. That company match is effectively part of your compensation package, although you have to take some of your own money and weave it into the plan in order to capture that part of the compensation, but it is part of your overall compensation package. And for a lot of employees today, it's really the only kind of employer contribution to your retirement savings that you're going to get. So that often is a good reason for people to contribute to their 401k. But as I said, sometimes a plan won't have any company match to it, and that may be, as a result, a factor that you consider that makes you decide to put retirement savings somewhere else and take advantage of different benefits offered through other account types, or maybe a spouse's 401k or other employer-sponsored retirement plan. Number 2, you should consider the tax benefits of making contributions to a 401k. When you contribute money to a 401k, that money can basically be contributed in one of 2 ways. It can be, number 1, contributed on a pre-tax basis, which means that the money is not taxed when it goes into the 401k, and it's going to reduce your taxable income for the year you make that contribution. Of course, you're going to have to pay taxes on that money at some point, so whenever you take that money out of the 401k, you're going to owe taxes, and that money is going to be added to your income in whatever year that withdrawal occurs. The second way that you can make contributions to a 401k is on an after-tax basis. The most common type of after-tax contribution available today is what's called a Roth contribution. With a Roth contribution, you're going to make that deferral of wages to the 401k plan on an after-tax basis, so you're going to pay the taxes in the year that money is earned. It will go into the 401k plan, and since the taxes have been paid on it, you're not going to pay taxes on it when you withdraw that money. But the added benefit with Roth is, as long as you meet certain qualifications, the earnings on your original contributions come out tax-free as well, although you've never paid taxes on them in the past. It's often said that these tax benefits benefit most people who are higher paid, because they're able to stretch out the tax liability for a single year's wages at least somewhat into the future when those 401k distributions are made. And in a sense, that's true. But at the same time, there can even be some benefits to people who are middle class or even working class, blue collar type jobs. Those income earners can see some benefits by deferring wages and either taking the Roth option and paying the taxes today to avoid it in the future, or to reduce the tax liability today and pay the taxes in the future. Specifically with taking that pre-tax option, there are a number of tax credits and income tax deductions that are limited based upon the income. Specifically, it's usually your adjusted gross income. And by reducing your taxable income in the year, you may qualify for additional credits or deductions that otherwise would not be available to you. And so that may be a benefit to you that you can get the credits or deductions today without actually worrying about taking a pay cut or losing money or something to be able to qualify for those benefits today. And then you'll be able to have retirement savings and take that money out in retirement. So there are certainly some tax benefits, but of course, whether particular benefits are available to you or as a whole that deferral is beneficial to you from a tax perspective would be specific to your situation and a number of factors that would make credits or deductions available to you. Number 3, consider the fees charged within the 401k plan. Oftentimes 401k plans come with various types of fees that may be involved. There are often investment fees that are charged. There may be plan administration fees or various fees for certain types of transactions like loans or withdrawals. What often is the case, but certainly not always the case, is that the investment fees, which make up the bulk of the 401k fees, are often lower in a 401k than what's available on similar investments within other types of accounts like an IRA or other after-tax brokerage accounts that you may want to put that money into instead. The benefit of having those lower fees is, of course, less of your money is going to pay some financial institution to make up what your employer's paying for administering the 401k plan. And this goes beyond simply wanting to keep more money in your pocket. Studies are pretty consistent about the implication of overpaying fees on your retirement savings. A Department of Labor study showed that paying just 1 additional % of fees over your lifetime through your working years can reduce your retirement savings by up to 28%. Which is a substantial amount. You think about that 1% each year being paid out, not that big of a deal, but much in the same way that that interest compounds or that investment returns compound together to create a much larger nest egg. In the same way, the fees that are going out of the account compound together over time because you're not making earnings on that money. It's all going out of the account. And so the Department of Labor, their study says it can roll all the way up to 28%, which is a huge amount. So it's definitely worth considering what kind of fees are being charged in the 401k plan, whether those fees are superior, or I guess more specifically, whether they're lower than what you would be charged to save that money within an IRA or a spouse's 401k plan or other whatever retirement plan your spouse might have available if you have a spouse. Number 4, consider the value of enrolling within the plan and how it makes saving easier. As a whole, this country is not very good about saving money, not for retirement, not for anything else. We're a society that really appreciates an on-demand kind of lifestyle. We don't want to think about the future as much as we want to be able to benefit right now. And that's definitely true from a financial standpoint as much as it is really any other. So what we find is retirement savings fairly low across the board. And so enrolling within the 401k plan can make that savings easier. And we particularly find that the greater the barrier or the amount of work involved to save money, the less likely people are to do it. With the 401k plan, you sign up, the money comes right out of your paycheck automatically without any work on your end. That makes it very easy to put that money aside for the future. Now, of course, you're investing that money, and you really should become familiar with the investments and take part in making investment decisions for your account. But all plans should have some fairly simple, straightforward, conservative investment that is at least a decent placeholder until you have some time to learn how to invest and make yourself familiar with the plan's investments. And so there are options to save that money without having to jump into the stock market and learn to be a day trader, something ridiculous like that. So the enrollment can help you get on board with saving, start that nest egg growing, or add to it. And many 401k plans have actually started to adopt a fairly recent permitted rule, and that's an auto-enrollment rule that allows the employer to enroll new hires into the plan once they become eligible for it at a fairly low percentage, and to automatically start those contributions unless they elect to opt out of the plan or to make some other kind of election to the plan. And studies show as well that this auto-enrollment feature is very good about getting people to enroll, that once they see the money come out, they realize that 3% or whatever wasn't that big of a deal, but they are making that savings, and that nest egg is going to start to build. So that's something to consider as well. But of course, other issues may balance against that. If you've got other investment accounts that perform better or meet your specific needs better, then that enrollment may not be very compelling. And fifth, just generally saving for retirement is a good idea. As I said before, a lot of people are not saving in the way that they need to. The reality is many employer plans, like pensions, no longer exist that provided the kind of retirement income stream that employees could expect to receive. People have different ideas about whether Social Security will still be there. And so you've got to think about a time will come where you may not physically be able to work. And if you think Social Security is going to be there, and I happen to be one who thinks that way, you may find that Social Security is not going to fulfill your needs for medical care, for housing, in a level that satisfies the medical needs or whatever your other needs are in life. And so saving for retirement now is really one of the few things you can do to ensure that when that time comes, you're going to have the financial capability to take care of yourself or your family or whatever you need to do. Because that time may come where you can't work, and at that point you won't be able to earn a living or make those savings. And of course, ideally, we would want everybody to be able to retire voluntarily and be able to enjoy some of that downtime with their family or traveling or hobbies, whatever they like to do. And to do that, you're going to need some money. And again, Social Security really is not enough money for most people to be able to do the things that they want to do in retirement. So saving now, generally a good idea. Of course, individual situations may weigh against saving right now, but as a whole, those retirement savings are pretty good. So those are 5 things to consider. Like I said, that's not all of the issues that may weigh in your individual decision. And of course, how you weigh out those factors is an individual decision that's based upon your personal situation, your family situation, and those are things to consider. If you're not sure whether you should invest within your plans or your employer's 401k, and you're looking for information about that, the right place to go is to a qualified financial planner. And I would suggest looking for somebody with a certified financial planning license or designation, and find somebody who will do financial planning for you for a stated fee, rather than somebody who's going to take a percentage of assets under management the way that many financial advisors do, just because they've got a conflicting interest between your needs for good financial advice and financial guidance and their need to earn commissions on your assets. CFPs that take fees to provide advice generally are not selling any kind of products and have no personal stake within, or no financial stake within your financial picture, and tend to be able to provide good advice that's neutral and really in your best interest. So that would be my recommendation if you're looking for more information about your individual situation or trying to get some help deciding what's right in your situation. As usual, I hope this video has been helpful. If you're looking for more information about 401k plans and the legal issues that surround these kind of retirement plans, there's certainly more information available on my website, and I would invite you to take a look at that information as well. So I think I'll wrap everything up here. Again, I hope it was useful. I also want to thank you for taking your time to listen. Feel free to provide feedback in the comments section, or if you want to be a jerk and provide terrible comments, that's okay too. I'm good with that as well. But we'll stop here. Again, thanks for listening one last time, and I'll see you next video.